to the Books, Life, and Shenanigans podcast with your host, Amanda Bird. Hey, thanks for joining me this week. Just a quick update. Next week and the week after, I'm going to do a 2-week hiatus, for Christmas and New Year's and kind of like a year wrap up. So I think maybe the first episode in January will be kind of a little bit of a wrap up of, the different episodes that we had done throughout this year, and then go on to some other fun things, which actually, this week's episode is You Want Me to Voice What? So that title, it encompasses 2 separate topics. The first one is, the book's topic, and that topic is voice. The second one is the life topic, and that is you want me to speak calmly when I'm angry? That's funny. Now, I can laugh at this because usually I'm the type of person, or at least I used to be. You know what? We'll get into that later, in the proper segment instead of kind of giving you more information, right? So I struggled with the name of this episode because I was going back and forth with the book's topic. It was originally going to be one thing, and then I was like writing down my notes of what I wanted to talk about, and then I was like, that's not what that is, Amanda. This is voice. The other topic that you had here is something completely different. They both can be voice, and this other topic can kind of be sort of lumped together. But when you're talking about voice, it's voice, right? You can hear it. Caveat, there are people who, when they read, they do not hear the voice in their head. I know it's like the craziest thing, right? I still have a problem accepting this, but I also understand that some people just don't, right? Like they just don't have that inner monologue, I guess, that inner, I can't even, I'm trying to break it down into terms that we all fully understand. But because when I say the little voice in your head, people are like, that's right, because you're crazy, bitch. That's beside the point. What I'm saying is, when you read something, a newspaper article, a book, an email, right? Or a text message, you hear it in your head. Most people hear it in their head. I don't know the actual statistics, but there has been research done on this about, those who don't hear things inside their head like that. And I think it's crazy. I think it's absolutely I think it's fascinating. And I know I knew, I can't remember how long ago it was, but I did know someone who didn't have this inner voice, right? And it boggles my mind. It really does. And I did not take the opportunity to get to know this person any better and ask those questions to be like, okay, well, how do you read a book then? Do you just use your imagination to see what's going on? How does that work? And I just never did. And I'm actually now mad at myself for it. Yeah, I'm definitely still a little upset with myself for that. Now that I go back and think about it, because I feel like that was a wasted opportunity, right? So when I say voice, what I mean is if you've read my books or my stories, it's like I'm having a conversation directly with you. And that's how I write. It's like I'm talking to you. My editor makes my stories better. He makes me a better writer. But I haven't lost that voice. It's still like I'm the one speaking to you and telling you these stories. Sort of. It's a more, formal version of a conversation with me, a more proper version of a conversation with me. So yeah, it's quite interesting for sure. I will say we had a lot of back and forth when we first started working together. about, how I just, motherfucker, how I just, my phone is on Do Not Disturb. I apologize. There are some people who can break through, and that's one of them. So yeah, we went back and forth a little bit about how I how I generally write my books like I talk, and how I probably should chill that out just a little bit, and that's fine. That's totally fine. So that's what I do, and I've gotten a lot better at it, but it's still, even with the editing, and some of it has been seriously edited, I haven't lost that voice. So listening to this podcast is going to be a lot different than actually reading a book, because here I really am having a conversation with you. Books have a certain way they need to be because there are style guides. And the Chicago Manual of Style rules. So that's kind of how we do things in the literary world. I don't like saying that because it makes me sound like a fucking snob, and I am not a snob. I can be bitchy. I can be mean, but I'm not a fucking snob. Okay, that's a lie. I am a hardcover snob. I don't like paperbacks, especially the mass market paperbacks, because they hurt my fucking hands. It's a book that's originally 350, 400 pages, but in mass market paperback, because they're so small, they're super thick and they hurt my damn hands. So yes, I am a trade size paperback, though I prefer hardcover snob. So that's that. So voice is, you've got blogs that you read regularly, right? Or you're a Substack subscriber and you've got somebody's, posts that you read regularly. The way they write, that style, that tone, that is their voice. And that gets conveyed through the page into your mind. And then if you actually have an interaction, like with that person, or, you listen to them do an interview or whatever, you're actually hearing them so that you can associate that voice with what it is you're reading, which I think is really, really cool. It's things that maybe not that but it's super nifty. What's even funnier is when they say don't meet your heroes, because you'll usually end up disappointed. I have met two of my author heroes, and they're the coolest fucking people ever. Pretty sure I've talked about this before, but it's funny because, reading their books and then meeting them, now when I go back and do a reread, or I read something new in the series, a continuation, I actually hear it as if they are speaking to me. And that makes it, at least to me, that makes it that much cooler. I think that's really great. So it's not like that I want to hear them read it aloud, but after having spoken to them and met them and understanding what genuine people they are, and then I read their books, then I really, really hear it in their voice. I've got friends whose books I read, and every time I do that, I hear it in their voice. Even if the story is told from someone else's POV. For prime example, Maria DeVivo, the Curse of the Black Locust, The Secret of the Black Locust, it's in the other room. That book is told from a male POV, and, well, sort of a male POV. It's kind of like third person, but also his POV. I don't know these technical terms because honestly, I'm going to be completely 100% frank here with you. I don't fucking care. I don't care what the terminology is. This is how I write it. If you like it, great. If you don't, okay, cool. I understand that. I respect that it's not your cup of tea. That's fine. But my big thing is I don't particularly care. That's like asking me about tropes. I don't. I just recently had this conversation with Mark from Erie Travels, Erie, Florida, Erie, Appalachia. I was like, I don't know You could talk to me about tropes all day long and I will act like I have a clue, but I promise you, I don't know a damn thing about them because I just don't care. And that, I don't know if knowing those things would make me a better writer. But I don't think they will, to be honest with you. That's just not, craft means a lot to me, but those terms and those things, I don't particularly care about them. My editor and I talk about them and, okay, change this because it sounds better, or change that because it sounds better. This because it reads better. And then when I'm reading back through it, now that I'm doing audio versions, I have to make sure in my head or reading it out loud that it's going to sound right when I record it for the audiobook. That it's because if I don't write for audio, then reading it becomes a challenge, especially if you've heard books 1 and 2 in audio. I'm sure book 3 is going to be just as much fun. Gonna already tell you should probably get the commentary and outtakes versions from here on out. And if you haven't gotten them before, you should probably get them anyway. Because those are a whole lot of fun. So yeah, like I said, I write like I am having a conversation with you, and it works well. Maybe not so much in book 1. Book 1's kind of jilted and weird. But if you can get through that and get to book 2, you'll get through the rest of the series, I promise. I won't lie. When I was doing the audio recording of book 1, I cringed a lot. But the rest of the series has come so far, and I'm so proud of it. Book 8 is in production. It will be hitting the editor this weekend. And then I'm going to take, the 2-week podcast break and start planning and plotting and scheming for 2024. Whether I release those plans to anyone aside from myself will be seen, considering every time I seem to release my plans to, my newsletter subscribers, something goes wrong. And then it's this weird domino effect of dumpster fires. Like I can't even say it's a domino effect of different hiccups and problems. It is at least this year was a domino effect of fucking dumpster fires. And I promise you, this is the final, the final dumpster fire already happened and the phoenix is starting to rise from the ashes. I know 2023, my word of the year was Rockstar. I can't decide if I'm going to keep that for 2024 or if I'm going to go with a new word. I probably will go with a new word because I like Rockstar. So this is going to take a lot of thinking and kind of like running things by people, using them as soundboards, because I just fucking don't know, man. I don't know. So yeah, if you like listening to me kind of ramble on about random book topics and random life topics, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. If you know someone who might want to listen to me or at least be vaguely amused by me, have them hit that subscribe button. And then you can get notified every time there is a new episode. And you'll have 30, 45 minutes of some kind of entertainment. So on to the life section of this week's episode. As I was speaking about in the intro, you want me to speak calmly when I'm mad. So I am the woman who always, well, maybe not always, but I did have problems with I still get loud when I'm angry. I will absolutely still get loud when I'm angry. I have gotten a lot better with it. I'm actually really proud of myself because there have been some things that me 6 months ago would have lost my fucking mind. Like, I think even my dad has noticed it because I've called him pretty upset and angry, frustrated over the past couple of weeks. I've called him a couple times. And I think only once was I not calm about it. That may have been because I was driving and everybody, it's not even like a road rage thing. I was just really annoyed because the guy in front of me wasn't using his turn signal. He was going 15 miles an hour under the speed limit. It was a 45 and he was going 30. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? What is happening right now? My dad's like, what's going on? So he's going 15 under. And he's like, can you go around him? I said, no, it's a 1-lane road. I can't do shit. So I did get a little bit loud about that. What the hell was that? But yeah, it wasn't anything too crazy. So yeah, I'm really proud of myself because I am able to maintain some level of calm when I'm angry. And I'm getting better at paying attention to when I'm starting to get really angry and my voice starts to go. It's funny because in the narcissistic relationship, it was, he would consider it abuse if I got loud. Those of us in reality understand that there is a thing like you've heard me get excited about things, right? And I get loud, I get real boisterous. And that's kind of how I get when I'm upset about something, or when I'm arguing with someone. I've never in my life have I been a calm arguer. So the fact that being the age that I am now, being the answer, as I've been calling it since the week before Thanksgiving, being that, I don't know if it was like me saying I need to kind of grow up, if it was me saying I need to be more in control, excuse me, of my emotional reactions. I don't know. And if apologies for this cough, right? Like this has been going on pretty much all year, essentially since I started this podcast. My voice was normal and then I blamed it on work because I was on the phone all the time. But to be, now that it's been going on for so long, I'm fairly convinced that it is from vaping. So I started taking formerly known as Chantix because I didn't know Chantix was discontinued in 2021. I'm on the generic version of that now. And I'm actually kind of pissed that my doctor prescribed it the way that she did because I went looking at the Chantix prescription information and the generic prescription information. And then I decided to take a dry erase marker to my bathroom mirror where my bottle of pills are, actually 2 bottles, because one of them's like a full bottle that's sealed and the other one has like extra pills in it instead of it being one of those blister packs like you would get with Chantix. And yes, I know this because that was how I quit smoking cigarettes years ago. So the fact that Chantix itself doesn't exist due to one of the ingredients or something, I don't know exactly what it is, but this generic doesn't have that ingredient. Anyway, I'm trying to quit vaping because I do feel a difference in my lungs from vaping. I feel a difference in my throat from vaping. So I need to quit. So that's where all this kind of phlegmy shit is coming from. We're not going to talk about the fact that I have allergies, asthma, and a cat. It's just, it is what it is. So hopefully when I come back in January, my voice will start to kind of level out more. And the me that you hear in the intro will be the me who speaks to you throughout the podcast episode and not just that, 5-second blip in the beginning and, 10 seconds at the end. So back to speaking calmly when I'm mad. I was never the type of person to argue and not be loud. And being the passionate person that I am, I get loud when I get excited about things. So like when I first got really into Harry Potter, dude, it took me over 10 years to actually get into Harry Potter. It was the 20 teens toward 2020.
I don't remember. Danielle might know. No, it was probably around 2009. Every time I tried to watch it with my friends, my friend and her husband, I would fall asleep. And then I finally got around to it after getting with my first husband, and it quickly became my crack. And every time I would talk about it, I would get very, very animated, very boisterous, very loud. And I still do. Like I had a conversation with a customer earlier today when I was working. We were talking about the answer, and she just like, wait a second. And I said, so long and thanks for all the fish. And she understood exactly what I was talking about. And we started laughing, and we both got really excited about it. And she's like, I'll bet you've seen the movie quite a few times. And I said, I've seen it twice. She goes, what? And I said, yeah. I said, I prefer the radio drama more. And she goes, well, tell me about it. And I got really excited, and I got really loud. And she's like, where do I find this? I said, just search it online. If you can't find it, let me know. I have all 14 episodes. I'm happy to upload them into like a zip file or something and send them to you. So yeah. If you haven't yet checked it out, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy radio drama. Matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can link to, I'm going to see if the website still exists that had all the episodes. And if it does, I will link to it in the description of this episode so you can go and check it out yourself, because it's fucking amazing. I promise you it's amazing. It's phenomenal. I cannot get over it enough. Like I can't do anything enough, honestly. It's awesome. It's great. So like, do you remember War of the Worlds from the 40s, the radio version? That's what this is with a cast. And it's amazing. And I know there's some books and some things that have been written to specifically be audio dramas, right? So they're on Audible and they're available as quote unquote audio books, but they're not really audio books. See, if you can't tell, because I hear it in my own ears, I am getting loud because I'm really excited about this topic. I was talking with an author friend of mine as I fucking veer off into left field. I was talking to an author friend of mine months ago about audio dramas because they had started really being present on the Audible homepages and stuff, like when you first open up the Audible app and things like that. And they had started to kind of pick up a little bit of steam. So he was talking about writing an audio drama, and I would love to write an audio drama because my favorite thing to write is dialogue. It is 100% dialogue. You may not believe that reading some of my books, because some of them are more description heavy, because I'm trying to set the actual scene. I want to put you in that place where my characters are before I start with the dialogue and what they're talking about and what they're actually doing. I want to put you right there. I want to put you on the beach with the palm trees and the waves crashing on the sand and the fucking dolphins that are just frolicking in the bay. Maybe I'll get to see them Christmas morning. Babe, can we go to the beach Christmas morning, please? Because I really want to go again. I think that might be my new thing every Christmas morning. Just go hang out at the beach for like an hour or two. And I'm not talking Clearwater because I don't want to drive that damn far. No, there's one on the bay that I like to go to because it takes me 20 minutes on Christmas morning to get there. And I'm there for like an hour and then I come home. I stop for coffee. I really hope it's not as cold and windy as it was last year, because holy fuck, y'all, I had on like a cami, a long sleeve tee, a sweater, and a wool pea coat. And then because my hair was up, I put on one of those thick headbands so that it covered my ears and kept them warm too. It was just, my God, I really hope it's not that cold this year. I'll cry. It has been pretty cold. Okay, so back to speaking calmly. So when I'm mad, because of being such a passionate person, and then the more I learn about healing, it might even be like a state of emotional dysregulation for me. I haven't exactly spoken to a therapist about this. I probably will. though, my old therapist, there were times where the narcissist and I would go and we would argue and I would get real loud, like real loud. Never once did he tell me to tone it down or that I was in the wrong. And I did kind of call him out on that. I'm like, I need a tough love therapist. I need somebody who's going to like not particularly be on my side, if you will, but I need somebody who's going to tell me you're in the wrong, calm the fuck down. Like I need that. I need that firm hand, especially from my therapist. I don't need someone who's just going to be like, well, I'm going to be gentle with you. No. I need you to be firm with me. You can be gentle, but I absolutely need that firm, which is funny because I was thinking to maybe go back to him for some tips, but also I'm still doing really well with my healing program. So I just need to kind of figure out, wow, my throat sucks. This sucks. I am so sorry, y'all. I wish my voice didn't sound like this. It's my own fault for vaping. I promise you I'm going to quit and it's not going to sound like this anymore. So yeah, I just, I'm doing what I need to do. And I'm still really proud of myself because me 6 months ago, loud when I argue, loud when I'm mad at someone, loud when I'm upset, getting, increasingly louder because that's passion and or emotional dysregulation. But now when I get into heated debates with people, or arguments, like there was something, with someone a couple weeks ago where the old me would have absolutely lost my shit on this person. But the new me, you could hear the anger and the disappointment and the frustration and the sadness in my voice. There were some sharply made comments. There were some venomous comments. But I don't recall actually getting loud or yelling. I wasn't monotone, but I definitely didn't yell. And I don't think I got too loud. I may have to ask because I'm curious now, but I really don't think I did. I think if I did get loud, that person would have maybe said something. I don't know. I'm going to have to ask. So I'm really proud of myself because that was a situation that 3 months, maybe not 3 months ago, 4 to 6 months ago, I would have absolutely lost my fucking mind. I got into it with my director at work one day because I called something out as manipulative and he tried to tell me it wasn't, at which point I tried to explain my position. He still wasn't hearing it. And then there is such a thing as positive manipulation, and he is very good at that. That's why he's a director under a team under the revenue department, right? Because we're technically sales. So he got into his positive manipulation, and I flat out said to him, I don't want to fucking hear it. And he's like, I'm sorry. I said, I don't want to hear it. I said, because you are being manipulative as well. I said, you can't sit here and tell me that what this person said to me is not manipulation, because it absolutely is. I said, I could run this by 15 people right now and they will tell me, yes, it's manipulation, the way that it's worded. Now, is it intended to be manipulation? Totally different story. I don't know. I don't care. Do not try to manipulate me because I will call you out on it. And chances are I will not be nice about it. Why do I have to be nice to you when you're trying to get one over on me? No fucking way. Not going to happen. So yeah, I did get a little loud with my director, and then I wrote him, a couple paragraph apology the next day. And he's like, I really enjoy working with you. He's like, I'm glad that, you understand that, you know, whatever. And it's kind of a big learning process, right? Because I've never been the type of person. I mean, you have to understand my background working was largely public safety. So, and I was a much different person then too, a much different person then. I'm trying to get back to the type of person who's not so easily bothered by things, but my empathy has grown so much that I don't know how possible that's going to be without going back almost fully to that bitch that I used to be, because I don't want to be her anymore. She's a fucking bitch. So no, I don't want to be her anymore. I want to figure out how to be empathetically bitchy, if that's a thing. And apologies if that just cut off mid-sentence. Had to hit the pause button because somebody was being a little fucking desk asshole. Desk terrorist? Yeah, desk terrorist. That'll work. She's on the floor now. We're good. But yeah, I had to compartmentalize a lot of things, and I don't want to do that anymore because that made me cold. I look back on that person, and there are certain aspects of that person I want to keep. Like my ability to say no, my ability to call people out on their bullshit, my self-respect, my self-worth, my self-confidence. And you know, those things are definitely coming back. And then I did a boundary boot camp, and that, oh my goodness, that has done, I feel like a whole different fucking person. Enforcing boundaries is a challenge. Oh my God. But between the boundaries and the healing from the narcissistic abuse, it's a lot of work, and it's work that had to be done for me so that I don't have to go through that again. I don't want to go through that again. You know, it's funny because over the past like 2 or 3 days, I've had people ask me, you know, well, does, you know, the person you're seeing now, do they know the full extent? And I said, no, they don't. I said, they know the surface. And I'm leaving it at surface because our relationship is so new, and we've got so many other things going on with our relationship right now. You know, the learning each other and all of that. Our relationship doesn't need that right now. It might come up in the future. It might not. You know, if he wants to know, that's great. I would like for him to know, but I mean, right now is not the time for that. Our relationship is not at that point yet. And honestly, you know, even if it does get to that point, does it need to be discussed? The surface might just be good enough by itself. You know, unless he actually says something that the ex said, at which point I would look at him and be like, that's not gonna work. That's like word for word what he said to me. So please figure out a different way to say it, because you will not get a response out of me. And if you do, it's not going to be a nice one. So yeah, but I can't even imagine him saying half of the shit that the ex would say to me. Sorry, I just had a really weird flashback to the second meanest thing that the ex ever said to me. And no, my dude would never say those words to me. So, I mean, unless he believed it was true. And even then I don't think he would, but no, I don't see that happening. But yeah, I can still get loud when I'm heated in some way, because I do get loud when I'm excited about something. I just got really loud right now. You can hear it in my previous episodes. I will get loud about things I'm excited about I'm passionate about, I'm frustrated about. Don't get me started on Rey Skywalker. I mean, Rey Palpatine. Yeah. So it's a fine line. Now, most people are probably better at being speaking calmer than me when they're angry. Because again, I mean, and this goes back to the healing program that I'm doing. It's very likely that emotional regulation was not taught to me growing up because of the way that I was treated by that narcissist. So any kind of emotional outbursts I had with her was met with penalization, punishment, but nothing that actually taught me like, hey, instead of behaving this way, you need to behave this way. Nothing that taught me those sorts of things. So, you know, this is funny, having the relationship that I have with my dad, and being able to call him at like 8:00 at night and be like, hey, so this just hit me and and I flipped out about this and I did that. And you're so calm, cool, and collected, and you've been through the exact same shit that I went through, you know, with her. So it wasn't just me she abused, it was you too. How did you keep yourself calm, right? So I'm learning a lot of things from my dad now that, you know, I wasn't able to when I was younger for one reason or another that I do not want to talk about on this podcast. At least not this episode. You know, there's a lot of things that went on, you know, child of divorce, and, you know, one parent used the child as a weapon against the other. And it was not a good situation. It makes me sad now I used to get really angry about it. Now it just makes me sad to know that there are people out there who do things like this to their children and worse. So no, it's not really something I want to elaborate on because I don't want to be sad. I'm already kind of feeling off myself. And that's got a lot to do with, you know, end of year. I'm burning out. I'm on a deadline for book 8 that is finally going to fucking release because I haven't released a damn thing all year except audiobooks. And that pisses me off. My life has been one dumpster fire after another. Sometimes it gets worse. Sometimes it doesn't. And I feel like I'm doing nothing but making excuses, but I'm really not. Like, I have come a long way since last December. Last December, you know what? I don't even want to get into it right now. Nope. We'll do a 2023 year recap for the next episode, I think. You know, it's going to be over the episodes, though. It's not going to be over my life. I mean, I might include some things about, you know, 2023 and how far I came. Because if I can see a difference in myself now, after other people telling me for the past couple months that they can see it, if I can see it now, that's a big fucking improvement. So I'm super, super proud of myself. Yes. Reminder, holiday hiatus, the week going into Christmas and the week after. So basically the next 2 weeks, there will not be a new podcast episode. I wish you a safe and happy holiday season, as well as a fucking kick-ass new year, because when we come back next year, I promise you, we are all going to take over and kick ass. I promise you. Like, I have a note in front of my laptop right here that says go into 2024 fresh and kicking ass. And that is all in capital letters, fresh and kicking ass, because I'm done letting someone else control my life. It is up to me. And I think the person I'm seeing has influenced some of that as well. But the motivation is there. Super tired. I don't care. There's shit to be done between now and the end of next week, and that's going to get done. And then coming into 2024, y'all, it's got to get better. It's got to get better. And you know how it's going to get better? We're going to make it better for ourselves. Fuck everybody else. All right, friends. I'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Have a great one. And as usual, thanks for hanging with me. Hit that subscribe button. Get those notifications. I understand the ones on the phone. You might not always want them because sometimes they get really annoying. Just hit that subscribe button. share away. And as lame as this sounds, I'll talk to you next year.
This has been the Books, Life, and Shenanigans podcast with Amanda Bird. Song credit, audionautics.com. Intro action, AUDIONAUTIX.com. And if you'd like to support this podcast, head over to substack.com/@Books, Life, and Shenanigans.